We've all heard the phrase easier said than done, meaning it's easier to say something, to verbalize it, than to actually do it. The doing is harder, this phrase would seem to suggest. But what if that's not exactly true? Should it really be easier done than said? Welcome to Every Day a New Thought. I'm Thor Chalgren. Today, I'm going to ask a question. You know the phrase, it's easier said than done? Should we actually reverse that? Should it really be easier done than said? There may be some instances where that's true. First little tidbit, this phrase was apparently first used in a book from 1483, so like 500 plus years ago. And the phrase was actually, it's easier to say than to do. And easier was spelled Easyer, and say was Saye. I guess that's Old English. But that was the phrase, easier to say than to do. But maybe that's not actually true. And here's why. When you say you're going to do something, first you have to come up with the words to describe it. And this is all in the domain of thought. This is what you're thinking. You're in your head. You have to think about what you're going to say. As you're formulating what you want to say, you start to examine what you're thinking. In that moment, doubt may start to creep in before you can even think about that thought, or maybe you're in the middle of formulating it to say it, doubt starts to creep in. And this is all happening in seconds, by the way. But you're asking yourself, as you're thinking of this thought, do I really believe that? And now you're having this conversation in your head, and you aren't really sure if you believe it. Maybe you've stopped. You haven't even gotten out yet to the doing of the thing. It hasn't even gotten out of your mouth, and you're already doubting whether it's possible. And maybe as a result, you don't say it, or as you say it, you don't believe it. And therefore, you're probably less likely to do it. So let me ask you, does that actually sound easier? When the phrase easier said than done, think about that process that I just went through and how we can inject doubt before we even get to doing the thing. I will say no, that is not easier said than done. This is why I asked the question, should we instead say easier done than said? Let's say if you had started doing it first, rather than saying you were going to do this thing, you were already now in the middle of doing it. And if while doing it, you came up with a better way to do it, great, you can adjust. But at least you are now in action. You are discovering in the process of doing it what works, as opposed to being in your head where you're more likely to just go, this won't work. Why are we thinking this? Get into action and adjust if you have to. So today, look for something where maybe you could employ the phrase easier done than said. Take that approach. And you may find that you actually get something done. You may get more done because sometimes it can be easier done than said. Thanks for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like it and please subscribe. That means so much to help me build an audience for people who want to receive this message every single day. Until tomorrow, thanks for watching.